I'll be trying to be on cue. Still feel I still feel like there's a 10-second delay. How is everybody doing? Happy Sunday. We are back. I have been rushing around here. It is YouTube Sunday. We got a lot of other content creators that are also live. So it's been a busy day. Get this going here on the bottom. And also, I mean, y'all just not really tapping into the Love is Blind like you used to. And I get it because it's been a struggle for me. I just literally finished episode 12 today, not too long ago. And it's really been a struggle. I got some notes, so we're gonna go through it. I didn't even zhuzh up the slides like I did last season. The ladies joined me after the first live last season, but they haven't even watched the season, so we're just going to make the best of it. We're going to talk about before we get started, please make sure you comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this recap. Be nice. What you thought of episodes 10, 11, and 12, and just the season as a whole. I know, like I said, it's been kind of like wah. Share the video. You share your videos because sharing is caring. Give me a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Please, and por favor. All the things. Keep your notifications on. The Cashapp's there. The Venmo's there. And this is alleged, okay? It's reality TV. I'm going to give you my opinions, and we're going to talk about what happened on the show. And that's going to just be that. I'm going to give people a few minutes to come into the room. But like I said, I don't really know because I feel like at this point, the people that are coming to support me aren't even watching the show, which is fine to me, okay? It's fine to me. But I'll just give people a minute. I'm going to copy link. Don't you go away. Post it on Facebook. I can't wait till I can get my act together and start doing the lives on Facebook like I used to, because I used to get views from there, but then now they only do it if you have 100 likes, 100 subs. It's 100 something, child. It's weird. And I did I have my personal Facebook account and my other social media, and then I have everything separate for YouTube. So it's not that many people over here. I just didn't want to be integrating I did that wrong. I didn't want to be integrating, people from here and there to here. I just didn't want to do that. Still switch that wrong. Hold up. Wait a minute. Because I ain't want all them people in my business, okay? I ain't want them people in my business. People from your childhood and whatnot and everything. And some of them I still keep in contact with them, and some of them I don't. And I ain't want them over here. So I started a separate page. Hey, Kim Clark, you said this show is my guilty pleasure. I really like Taylor and Daniel the most. Not sure if the couples will make it, to be honest. Baby, listen, let me tell you something. I used to really, 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 really love this show. This season is not doing it for me. Taylor and Daniel have, in fact, come a long way. I will give them that, because I thought she didn't like him, because I said, why do you say that this man, you saw this man, or this man saw you and on the IG and he followed you and unfollowed you? And I wasn't sure if she was just making up excuses. Now they do say the men over there look a lot alike, so that could have been part of it, but Lord only knows. Flip up, there we go. Hold on, who the heck is okay? Because the phone gonna be buzzing. So they've come a long way. It's like not a full circle moment. It's like a 180, because a 360 would be a three circle. Full circle. But we'll get into it. Like I said, I don't know who else is going to be coming in to talk about this. Last season, like I said, there was so much to talk about, and even everything with the gossip and the side stories, and I had panel members, and so I kind of broke it down into the couples and just really got into the high level. And this is not going to go that into detail, but I am going to do it episode by episode. So we're going to get into it. Let's put them up here. Something I had to tell you guys. I can't remember what it was. I don't forgot now. Oh, we found that Tyler supposedly, or Liler, or whatever you would like to call him. Let's get these two up here. is on a dating app, y'all. Now he says that ain't true, but that's what Storytime had Ricky was said. So, you can't prove it because unless they what do you call it, verify it, you can't prove it. But okay, Tyler, we see you. Excuse me, I got my little fruit juice. We're gonna start with Lauren and David, or Lauren and Dave, and this is where we left off in episode 9 when he had left her. Remember, the friends were supposed to come over to meet her, and she was all for it because she was ready to speak her piece and apologize. Let me not say apologize. I'll say apologize if need to. She was ready to give them her perspective and hear them out. And, she just wanted to make things more seamless for him. Sorry, I'll move my hands a lot. I'll try to keep him out of the eye of the camera. I'm just a hand moving kind of girl. And then last minute, he pulled the plug and was like, nah, he don't want to do that. Instead, he was going to go hang out with his friends. And he didn't want to, stay there with her. So he left her there. 3:00 in the morning, she said she get a text from him that says he's going to go stay at his place. And she hasn't heard from him since. And she said, the text was green. So, she was saying something about his phone being dead. I said, is that what happens when your phone is dead? The text be green? I thought green been blocked. Because if your phone is off, doesn't it just not, it's blue, but it just doesn't say delivered? Y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. Because I'll be trying to play these games with my 16-year-old. I don't have no man. I have nobody to worry about whether you being honest or dishonest. Hallelujah. But that 16-year-old, sometimes when they're going to tell you stories, you got to know what's going on. Anyhow, Lauren is giving the pick me vibes. She still wants to work it out. That's what she's telling the camera. And then in comes Dave. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon, right? He says his phone died. Then he had to get an Uber to go get his car. I guess get something to eat. And she's like, she still wants to work on their communication styles. And it's okay if he communicates one way and she communicates another way. It's okay. It's fine. It's whatever. Girl, please have some dignity about you, okay? Please, please, please. So he went, I guess, from one bar to the next, doing a little bar hopping. We do that sometimes, or people do that sometimes. I'm a little old to be doing that now, but back in the day, do a little bar hopping. And I think the second bar where he landed, there were people that were from the pods there. Obviously, we are getting the vibe that Minneapolis is a small town, small dating scene. So Molly was there. Y'all remember Molly? Molly with the red hair that y'all saying look like the little girl with the fishy. Hey, fishy, from Finding Nemo. Y'all are wrong for that. And I really wasn't a fan of Molly until either later on in this episode or episode 11 when she kind of was giving me a girls vibe. Y'all let me know what you think about that. But yeah, he says that he didn't speak to her. He thought it would be weird, all the things, blah, 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 blah. So she was there, but he never went to speak to her. And of course, people talk. So she found out from other people in the pods, they stay in the same building, and word got back to her. Now, while he was busy doing that, she was hanging out with her parents that I guess he was supposed to meet, and they want to meet him, but they don't want her to get hurt. Maybe it's a struggle, okay? And I feel like, because he's like, oh, like he's kind of saying something about her parents still wanting to meet him or something to that effect. And I feel like he's just like not man enough to deal with what he's doing to her, because he's kind of just gaslighting her. We're going to get into a little bit later. That's essentially what he's doing. Dave don't stand on business at all. He likes other people to do his dirty work. So later on, we do get to meet her mom. I forgot what the mom's name is. And out the gate, he starts talking about kids. He wants kids and she wants kids and all the different things that they have in common. And I was like, kids is not what you want to start with, Dave. You got a whole lot of other things going on. But he's kind of saying that marriage scares him. I get that. I think his parents are still married. I know the mom passed away. So, that's why we're going to assume this whole my sister thing is, because it's an older sister. So perhaps she took on the parental role. Who knows? It's still very weird. It's giving ickiness to me. But he don't want to meet the sister. He don't want her to meet the mom. Anyway, like I said, we are with Lauren's mom. Sweet lady, seems very, very nice. So Lauren's dad, whose name is also Dave, I said, okay, so Lauren's dad is Dave. Taylor's dad is Daniel. And then Devin and Virginia, both their dad's name is Willie. It's just small world. Anyway, connect the dots. La, 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 la. And her dad says that he wants to support her. And he does want to meet with Dave, but he doesn't want to come on cameras. I get that, especially where dads are concerned. Now, I've said this in previous seasons. I have a 22-year-old. So if it were my kid and he wanted to do this, I would try to show up on camera and give him that show of support and give him, the best advice that I can give. And you see a lot of parents do end up doing that. They don't really give them their blessings, but it's like, if you don't give them your blessings, you kind of come off crazy on camera and it doesn't really look good. And you want to be supportive of your child, whether, their mistakes are their mistakes to make as an adult, kind of how I think Taylor's mom? No, not Taylor's mom. Daniel's mom was saying, like, you got to trust them as adults to make their own decisions. So they talk about his dad and his sister, and how the sister was worried that she's just going to be this person that wanted fame and wanted the cameras and all the things, which kind of, do you not? And then Lauren's mom, like, do they know Lauren? Lauren is very boring. Okay. Lauren is not that type of girl. And she's not. So we start somehow getting into the conversations about Dave's friend. You could tell Lauren has a really close relationship with her parents. She done told them all of the things, or at least most of the things. And he was kind of saying something to the effect like, they'll survive. Will they? Is what Lauren said. I said, yes, Lauren, that was me too. Will your friends survive? I need to know. We all need to know. Because if they will, then what are we even doing here? This is why I said gaslighting. This is why I say you be making a mountain out of a molehill and trying to, low-key slut shame this woman because she had a unconventional relationship. She said that wasn't her man. But again, we'll get into that. He hadn't had sex in a while. We'll get into that a little bit later when we have that group meetup at the bar. So mom is kind of like, your friends, family, others need to realize it's not about them. Like, it's about the two of them, and kind of mind your business. And then he's kind of saying to her mom that, they both want to be here and they've taken it seriously. And he knows all the right words to say. And also he's full of it at the same time. So you're trying to say the right words to her mom so that mom won't think you're an a-hole. But at the same time, it's really not how you feel. You're just kind of talking to hear yourself talk. I had in my notes, he's so full of it. Because honestly, that's really how I felt when it came to Dave. So we'll get back to them a little bit more at the end of this episode. We're going to talk about Monica and Joey for a little while. We see Monica's hating ass sister, Nicole, with the 2 L's. Now, she's a professional photographer, and so she gives them an engagement shoot. Now, the shoot was really cute. They're outside. They're doing all kinds of funny poses. Love to see it. Cute, cute, cute. Every season, or almost every season, somebody is going to do an engagement shoot. So this is what the two of them did. And that was her gift, which could save you a pretty penny because, if your sister's a professional photographer, professional photography costs a lot of money. So hold on one second, because I got my notes up and this thing keeps wanting to. The screen keeps wanting to go off all the time. And I think it's because I had it on low power mode, but it's at 50-some%. So we're going to get through it. So she gives him the photo shoot, and then kind of after the photo shoot, they have a moment to talk, and we find out that the sisters have had some conversation and kind of discussed the whole thing that happened when Joey met her family, and how all of that went, and how the sister was giving, those hateration, holleration vibes. Now, one thing I will say, and I wasn't paying that close of attention when they did the tux or the suit fitting and the wedding gown fitting. Again, I rely on my community. If y'all are watching, get down in the comments and tell me, did we see Joey's family? I don't remember seeing Joey's family or friends. So that's kind of giving me pause about him. Did they move out of the country? Because that's the only excuse that you can give me. And even still, we are your friends that we're not meeting anybody. So, or we didn't see them sit down with anybody on his side. I could be mistaken. This whole season is a blur. It's not very exciting. So it could just be that. So the sister said they talked about it since, and now we're going to talk about it again on camera. So, everybody can know what they talked about. And Joe, Joe was present to hear the conversation. And so the sister Nicole with 2 L's was saying she was uncomfortable with the whole experiment. Baby, give me a second, yes. Baby, you're not the only one, okay? Almost every single family that comes, that their child or sister or brother, whichever family member it is, comes onto this show, it's a rush. Everybody knows it's a rush. It's uncomfortable. It's unconventional. Most people aren't comfortable with it. They do the best that they can to try to get a feel for them as a couple. And if they've talked about all the important things, and is this person solid, and will this be a good union? And they try to do that. But it's like, we get that you feel uncomfortable. So she apologizes and she says, she could be protective, and that comes off harsh. She says his high energy was giving her pause because, her and Monica likes to nap. And Monica's like, I like to nap, but the high energy don't bother me because sometimes I want to be outside. But the sister says she can see it. I'm going to give you, an it factor. She can kind of see the chemistry between the two of them after the photo shoot. There's never really too much to say about Monica and Joey. They were looking like our star couple, but, who knows? We kind of moving away from that. So we move on to Sarah and Ben. They talking about that TikTok. He don't get it. He doesn't understand what the big deal with it is. Now, quick update. So the girl that did the TikTok post, she did a post and delete. We've seen it. She did a post and delete where she admits that she only went on 2 dates with Ben. And that she was really just crying because of the horror stories that she's heard about him with other women. Girl, be so for real. But she's like, she was dramatic. She wanted to, get the attention, and you got the attention, and it made it all the way through to the network, and it made it all the way through to Sarah. We got to the end of episode 12. These two are at the altar. We didn't get any answers. So episode 13 is supposed to be our, big wedding episodes. We get all the rest of our weddings. So, we've gone from 5 to 4. We'll get there. But yeah, so they talk about it, and essentially they're going to work through it. She doesn't want to discount what the girl says, but Sarah just willing to do a whole bunch of compromising. And I don't know if I like that for her, because yes, compromise, but you shouldn't be the only person to compromise all the time. And I just feel like she's not standing on business, and I don't like that about her. So later on, we do get to meet up with her sister and her sister's partner. I forgot what the sister's name is. The sister's partner's name is Kelsey. I think Lisa is the sister. So, they're making jokes that the two of them move so fast, kind of like a lesbian couple, because they say the second date for lesbian couples, they pulling up U-Hauls and they're ready to move in. Indeed, they did. That's the experiment. So they start talking about the church, and, Sarah has said she ain't really with the whole church thing. And then, the whole stance with church, which is kind of one of the issues I have with the church, which is why I say the same thing that Ben says, but Ben is lying. Ben says he's more about faith, because the connotation of the church and the hypocrisy and all of those things, which I have an issue with, I think he doesn't want to have that painted on him, but that's very much the person he is. He is highly, after watching these episodes, he is very highly religious. Your family's religious. You go to church every Sunday. So I feel like, you kind of downplayed it a little bit, but okay, Ben. And plus, like I said, they said you'd be out in these streets. So she says something about they both agree that they're conservative financially and liberally, conservative financially and liberally social. So the sister's partner, Kelsey, is kind of saying that they need to have more political conversations. And I'm like, child, you don't say. Because she kind of just I think I have it later in my notes, so if I have to say it twice, she gave pick me. She gave, I'm compromising my values for whatever it is he wants. because the sister's partner is kind of saying people who are conservative financially tend to vote a different way, i.e. Republican. I hate that we have to get into a conversation like this on Love is Blind. I know a lot of people get bothered by it. I try to not have, this channel, I like to keep it light. I like to keep it fun. I go for my favorite shows, but also I really try to not discuss, religion too much. I try not to discuss politics too much, and we're getting all of that in this season. So we have to discuss it. So hopefully I don't offend anybody. I'm just kind of talk about what's going on in the show and talk about my feelings towards it. But I feel like so many, it's more of a Republican stance. And I feel like a lot of women in the last election kind of gave us the Sarah vibes, where they said that they stand for the causes and the George Floyds and the BLMs and things, and, the LGBT community and all of those things. But when push comes to shove, they back down out of all their values, I'll say, and they kind of just go with whatever it is that their husband stands for, So I feel like that's a situation that she's putting herself into, and I hate that for her, because if you're going to stand on something, stand on it. Like, if that's your stance, that's your stance. It doesn't change based upon who you date. We're going to get into another political conversation, which totally caught me off guard later on. Actually, we're going to get into it next with Virginia and Dave. So Ben goes to get a drink, and Sarah is sitting there talking to the sister's friend. And she looks up to them, and she's trying to they wasn't really feeling Dave. And she's kind of saying, they're not feeling him, but she's still trying to sell Dave to the sister and the sister's partner. And she's saying that she looks up to them, but the vibe that I'm getting is like, this is a different Sarah from what they've seen. And what she says that she stands for is not what they're seeing now. So it's, kind of all of the things that I discussed. So in my eyes, should these two get married? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do I think they do? I don't think they get married. You can get down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. We're going to move on to Virginia and Devin. They meet her mom, whose name is Mary. Very sweet woman. So, we get the same old conversations where they're saying, okay, what connections you guys make in the pods and da. So they're telling us that they connected over faith and family, and that he's used to seeing commitment. His parents have been married for 34 years, and his sister's been married for over 10 years, his grandparents. So he's, she's asking a lot of questions, a lot of practical questions that definitely need answering. And she's very polite about it. All the questions she's asking need to be answered, and she's saying them with a smile on her face. She's not, interrogating him, with a lot of questions, but she's not really interrogating him. She's trying to keep it light. He's hitting all the right answers, So he's like, he wants to put Virginia first, and they plan to grow together, and all the things, like I said, all the right things to say to mom. You gotta, So Virginia's parents are divorced, but because the mom asked, well, is that a concern? Because, we start talking about commitment, and that's where he says, commitment is in his blood. And we talk about his parents and his sister and his grandparents. And as a strict contrast, Virginia's parents are divorced. And he's like, he doesn't have a problem with that. He's not worried because she still has a strong relationship with both of her parents, which is super duper important, because a lot of people don't get that. It's very contentious. And then also that does affect the way that you move forward in life, the way you view yourself, the way you view relationships and connections and all of those things. So it is very, very important. So it's good that she does have that good, solid grounding. I think that she have her doctorate. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. So she's educated, she's smart, she's beautiful. And she has trying to find the right word for it. Like, her demeanor is very soft. So whereas, me personally, sometimes I could be a little, especially as a Black woman. When you say things a certain way, you don't get them across if you come, I hate using this word, but aggressive. And Virginia is she gets very passive in her voice, but she's not a passive person. She's very standing on business, but she's just going to give you that soft tone to make it a little more palatable, right? So he asked, like I said, he got all the answers, Sway, okay? Mom is giving her stamp of approval. So when they get home later, to their shared living space, they're kind of going over how all of that went, and he says it went good, and she was really sweet, and she asked a lot of questions, but it was cool. And so Virginia's kind of like, oh, well, do you think we missed anything? Is there anything we need to talk about? And they're like talking about how they feel comfortable with each other, but essentially it's do or die. Like the wedding is, I forgot how many days away at this point, but we're down to the wire. So anything that hasn't been put on the table needs to now be put on the table. It's kind of rough with these two because his connection was really more with Brittany, than it was Virginia. And I felt like he was trying to get her to open up. So I'm not 100% sure what they discussed in the pods, because while we did get the prenup conversation outside the pods and finances and living, I believe that they had the conversation out the pods, but I'm of the mind that they also had them in the pods. But like when we finally stumble upon politics, and I'm like, finances, politics, and religion, top three. And you also should really discuss parenting. Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? How many kids do you want? And your parenting styles would be my fourth. But those three or four things you definitely need to discuss before you move any further, because otherwise, what's the whole point? So they get into politics and everything, and she starts talking about, women's rights and the rights to terminate pregnancy and things of that nature. I don't want to say the word on here because Lord knows they get kind of crazy. So he's like, hemming and hawing and everything. He's like, yeah, I feel no ways. Omarion, Devin, please speak up. He was like, I don't really think it's a big deal. I don't really, think about that type of stuff. And whenever somebody tells you that kind of says everything that you need to know. Because if he felt the same way she felt, we wouldn't be getting this answer. So she's for a woman's right to choose and all those things. He's like, yeah, well, I believe a woman should have a right to choose, but I think that she should also have the conversation with the dad. Yes, she should. That's, and Virginia agrees. That's like the morally and ethical thing to do, that you have the conversation. But at the end of the day, the right still, it's technically her body. So he says that. And so she's like, she's trying to get a vibe because she got a vibe, but I guess at this point, she just want him like, man, come on out and say it, right? Come on out and say it. And he ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying nothing. He ain't saying nothing. So she's like, well, which way do your parents vote? And he's like, well, my family tends to vote conservative. Ding, 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 ding. There it is. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay. Where we are in this country is, and I think at the time of this show too, it's definitely right now, but the show is like a year or so behind. I want to say back in the day, it wasn't as important as it is now, but it's like, it's a very harsh line at this point, unfortunately. So if your partner, unless you're Sarah and you just gonna fold like a pretzel, it's an important thing. And so she was kind of saying, well, her family does not, but then again, they're Black. He's like, my dad's Black. Yes, your dad is Black. Your dad also said nothing at that meeting, and your mom is also white. So there's that. So yeah, that's where we went with that. And I feel like that is going to be the deciding factor when they get to the altars. Between that and the prenup, we seem to have dealt with the prenup thing by episode 11 or episode 12. So yeah, I feel like these two are not gonna, it's very much like Sarah and Ben. Like Sarah and Ben do not agree on the things that they need to agree on. So there's no way that they should be getting married. I think the same kind of goes for Virginia and Devin. I forgot to take that off. Taylor and Daniel, their scene is very, very quick. We get them playing mini golf, and they're talking about wedding stuff and wedding song and all of that type of stuff and what they're going to dance to. And it looks like they're continuing to communicate well and to be very supportive of each other. So we'll move back to the train wreck, which is, oh no, wrong direction. Sorry. Lauren and Dave. So now, Jesus, why did I take 30 minutes to discuss one episode? So now we're at the end of episode 10. Lauren and Dave are bowling. And they discuss, because, they're going to meet the other pod people, because they do that every season where the whole group gets together. And she's like, she really not ready for any more opinions. Girl, I feel you on that one. Between his sister and his friends, you can't get a word in edgewise. He been piling on your head. Okay. So he's like, let's not say we find out. They discuss how he's very susceptible, promise I can speak, to others' opinions. And we talk about the darn sister again. And how essentially he downplayed the situation to her. She didn't want him to go on the show at all. He finally convinced her to let him go on the show. But his whole thing was he was not going to make it past the pods and he wasn't going to get engaged to anyone. So, he also kind of mentioned how he's stressed out after talking to her dad and his family he's stressed out after talking to her dad. And he kind of says something because, like I said, the dad didn't want to be on camera, but you're not letting her speak to anybody at all. You spoke to the dad. Now, he wasn't on camera, but you got to have a conversation and say whatever you need to say to her dad. Lauren has not. You haven't given her the opportunity. So he's saying his family doesn't just meet anyone and that he doesn't want to waste his sister's time. That speaks volumes. So Lauren is basically on her Fantasia. You don't want me, then don't talk to me. Okay, go ahead and free yourself. She's like, she wants to know. And I said, just like he did with Molly in the pods, he is trying to get this girl to break up with him. He done tried to slut shame the hell out of her. He don't want her. He don't want her. He don't want her. I have never seen a man focus so much on somebody's past as Dave does throw the whole man away. We're going to try to move through 11 and 12 a little more quickly. 12 is really nothing. I have virtually no notes for 12, but we get to episode 11, we still with these two. Now that we went from 9 to 10, we left end of 9 and started 10 with the two of them. We ended 10 and started 11 with the two of them. This is our problem child of the season. He's that guy. So we're still with them. They're at a different location in like a movie theater or empty movie theater or something now. And he's kind of saying like everything was good until they left the pods and they got their phones back and everybody's opinions. And it's just, we're going through the same stuff over and over again. Same stuff over and over. We just talked about it, episode 10. We talked about it in the last recap, and probably not the recap before that because the first 6 episodes they played in our face and we sat in the pods for 6 episodes. But definitely for my last 2 recaps, 7 through 9, and this one same thing, wash and repeat. So he's like, it's hard for me to walk away because I'm just fast forward for y'all. He says it's hard for him to walk away, but his heart thinks it's the right decision. I said, finally, it's over. It's over now, please, because you done drug us all through it and we've had enough. Whew, let me see. It made me thirsty. Throat is dry. Should I leave that picture on there? Nah, let's give y'all and Taylor and Daniel, because I'm just going to put somebody up there. So the couples, they're like playing in the snow. They're in the little tubes and they're going down the slopes and everything, and real cute. It's all the couples, all 4 of the couples now. We don't have Dave and Lauren, but Taylor and Daniel, Virginia and Devin, Sarah and Ben, Monica and Joey. They're all out there. Then we finally wind up back at this bar, and this is where we're going to do our meeting of the other pod people, okay? So the ladies are there. They have this cute little plank. They take out like a group shot. They're shooting the stuff. The fellas are over there. They're talking about the experiment and outside opinions because we're talking about Dave. Dave's not there. Lauren's not there. So far, it's just the 4 couples. The ladies start talking. They're a little giddy. They start talking about their future last names and what their new last name is going to be, and are they going to hyphenate it? And most of them say no. And then Lauren does show up. Then they, like I said, they start having more conversation, and then we start to we're slowly seeing the arrival of the people from the pods. We get Molly, we get Brittany, Molly and Lauren. They go outside and have a conversation. Molly says that Dave was down to the bar. That when he left her at home, Lauren, at 3:00 in the morning, and he went down to the bar, that Tiara, which was another lady that was in the pods, said that he had a girl all over him. Now Molly's like, I ain't see that with my own eyes, but that's just what I was told. I wanted to say something. I don't want to seem like a hater, so I let it go. So Lauren's like, girl, we broke up. So she starts telling her the whole story about what happened and with the sister and the friends, and I was dating this guy and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, she's talking about he didn't let me meet his sister. He didn't let me meet his friends. He didn't let me meet his family. It was a whole big thing. Baby Molly's face was like, girl, are you serious? Yeah, she's very serious. So Molly is giving us girls vibes. She's like, she's telling her Dave should have stood up for her. Like he wasn't right for that. And she tells her, listen, if you need anything, like, we got you, I got you, you deserve the world. And she's like, girl, truth be told, when we got out of them pods and I got onto the IG and I got me a good look at Dave, I said, I'm good. I said, I know that's right. I know that's right, Molly, because Dave, Mr. Aesthetics, and I tend to date women for their outside and all of these things that he likes to say. Yeah. He's not ugly, but Matthew McConaughey, or put a face on it, Idris Elba, whoever you think is the hot guy, he ain't that. So and now we get Brittany, B-Dot, and Devin talk. And she's like, we go back to the whole pod days, and she's saying, when he shared his secret and then she shared hers, his response was a little immature in her opinion. And I said, now we know why. Because sir's Mr. Conservative. He don't play all the LGBTQ stuff, okay? So she said she was looking for some more support, but they feel like they made the right decision. Then she starts, like, well, how about your relationship with Virginia? So he kind of gets into the conversation about that. And she's asking, have you had any challenges? And they have, but he says that they don't agree with everything perfectly, but they have, they have nice, healthy conversations. And like I said, part of that is because of Virginia's demeanor. He's not a loud person either, but because her demeanor is very soft, like it's very hard to scream and yell and get flustered when the other, unless they just really gaslighting you, which she doesn't give that vibe. But when the other person is talking to you like this, I think, and if it makes sense, and we should, I love you. Like, who's gonna get mad and start screaming and yelling at that? So, Britt is saying that Virginia is an incredible woman and they seem like a genuine couple. She's kind of observed the couples there. Love to see it. And after we get this nice, healthy exchange, because he had kind of said he always saw them as friends and so that they will be fine and it will be cool. In comes Dave's raggedy ass, child. He telling the fellas, it was rough and he feels bad, but he made the right decision because essentially he was saying what we thought he said. He didn't really want to break up with her, but when push came to shove, he had to do it because Lauren wasn't doing what Molly did. Molly said, go ahead and say the words. I say the words. I say the words. Say the words. So now we start to get more pod people comes in. We see Madison comes in and then we see Meg comes in and Meg comes in with Mason holding hand in hand. You got that right. So she says that they started speaking the second that they got their phones back. They checked in with each other. They even met up. She wore her reveal dress. We get a little video of that. Super duper cute. And Madison, hating ass in the back. Something about Madison just comes on. She could be a really cool girl, but something about her just, because her story was so heavy, something about her just, don't do it for me. She ain't talking about, she glad that they didn't end up together. And then speaking of didn't end up together, in comes Alex, right? You know what? Let me put there, since we're talking about them, I think I do still. There we go. I do still have their pictures whilst I'm talking about them. So, where are we? I lost track. So Alex says that soon as they, again, no, not Alex. Madison says that he texts her when they got their phones back. When they get their phones back, then they're trying to find each other, see what each other look like, and get into all of the things. Some of them had already met and went on the trip, but for those of them that didn't, this is, this is the process. So he's begging her to meet him in the airport. She go meet him in the airport. Because, she's hot. She's beautiful. And, Madison's cute. She has some pink hair, don't care. In this episode, and I was just like, child, I guess. So they meet in the airport, and apparently Meg had also messaged Alex before she knew they were engaged. It was just a whole lot of drama for your mama, and I just couldn't do it. So Madison is calling Alex a liar, She's talking about the whole thing because remember, Alex was standing up for Mason, and basically, he was F them kids with Mason. She's like, that's not what you said. when you were on the show. So, she's calling him a liar, but he's also had unfavorable things to say about her. I think it was the Vile Files. I saw a little clip on social media where he was kind of calling low-key, high-key Madison a bully, because of the whole thing with Mason. Now, I mean, maybe he's a little more entitled to it because he was actually there. So he actually, got to see and go through all the things. But I just, a lot of y'all didn't stand on business and it's real fluff. And I just, we'll leave it at that. So Molly and Dave have a conversation. Ciao. We'll throw them up. Molly and Dave have a conversation, and she's like, she's like, I'm sorry about what happened with you and Lauren. So he's like, I'm used to being the one that F's up. She's like, are you going to say that she F'd up? He's like, no. I said, yeah, that's right, Molly, getting that behind. You better not say that Lauren messed up. She was perfectly honest with you. She answered every question that you had, every reservation, but you just was never going to let it go. You didn't want her. I don't think you wanted her before that, but certainly when you found that out, you didn't want her. And you just was thinking of anything that you could. So she's like, Molly is saying to Dave, you said in the pods that you push people away. And this sounds like that. He was like, no, it wasn't. It was about, my friends. And she was like, well, you should have been defending her to your friends. And he says he did. Somehow she ends up asking him when's the last time he had sex. And he's like, it's been a minute. She's like, yeah, that's what your problem is. And Lauren and Molly had kind of had that conversation too. So we talk about the sister again, because it ain't going to be a conversation with Dave unless we talk about this sister. So then that's when we start talking about her not wanting him. I think this is where we actually got the conversation of her not wanting him to get engaged out of the pods. That she was worried he'd end up with the wrong person. Have you met your brother? Have you met him? Because these women, too good for Dave. So Molly's like, does she know that Lauren is the most stand-up person like that we know? And I was like, go ahead, Molly. I don't know if you fake or you for real, but I'm going to go with it. Okay, I'm going to go with it. And she's like, if you love Lauren, then what's the problem? Like, he starts making excuses and she kind of clocks him on making excuses. So I'm like, child. In his confessional, I'm going to call it his confessional. It sounds like he's having some type of regrets. I'm going to do a little half air quote. And I was like, sir, please. So then he decides to walk up on Lauren. And he's like, can I give you a hug? She's like, can we talk? Lauren, thirsty much? Let me have a drink. Because why? Oh, child, wait, you know what? We're supposed to be having gold goblet. It's Love is Blind. You got to have our gold goblet. Because the thirst is real, okay? The thirst is really real. Let's put that right there. So the two of them have a conversation, and I was just very annoyed. Like I said, he gives her a hug. He's talking, and I was exhausted. I didn't even take too many notes. I really have. He's talking, and I'm exhausted, in my notes. He says it's his fault. It was his ego. He says he's sorry. She starts crying. She's like, I really wanted to call you and wanted to do it and wanted to say all this and I wanted to do all that but then you didn't call me. And then she was like, I don't want to be the person that should have to call you. I shouldn't have to be the one to reach out. Baby, the conversation goes nowhere. And I said, thank you, Lauren, because she was kind of like, just not it. Like all of that still ain't getting us nowhere. So then we just get a couple of scenes as we go through. We see Sarah and Ben. They're at church, dressed super, super duper casual. One of Ben's friends is there. Sarah's saying, I'm like, she's scratching her head. He's scratching his head. I'm like, oh, you're bored? But she says she didn't get all the answers, that this church was as inclusive as it needed to be for her. But she's willing to go again and figure it out. This is why I keep saying compromising. And there's nothing wrong with compromising, but your values should be your values. Like the one thing that I would think that we wouldn't compromise is our values, but Sarah didn't ask me. Virginia and Devin, they do some little dance lessons. We see Monica and Joey. They have a little pickleball date. And then, Taylor and Daniel during the Christmas. So they do a little Christmas setup. They get all jazzed up, dressed up. I think that's the thing, the outfit they had on from the reveal. And they are going to do Christmas cards as favors for their guests. I thought it was really cute considering, that was their thing, a little corny. Is what it is. End of episode, we get our bridal gown and our tux/suit shopping. Baby, Ben is the only one I have no notes on. Sarah, sister Lisa. So it's Lisa, and then Kelsey is the partner. It's kind of just telling her to trust her intuition. She says that she'll always be there. First dress she tries on is a winner with a chicken dinner. We move on. Beautiful, beautiful gowns, beautiful gowns. I wish I had photos. Maybe I'll try to get photos next week. But truth to be told, I think Sunday is packed for me next week. So I don't know if I'm going to be back next Sunday. It may be Saturday. Maybe Saturday evening, I may do a pre-recorded one because episode 13 is just going to be the wedding. So we'll see. We'll get into that a little bit at the end. Monica, she put her little dress on and she kicked her little leg out. She loves the slit. The slit is giving all the things that the slit needs to give. Okay. Her mom gets a little emotional. We always got to go through it when we're in these moments, and in the bridal suite, the tears are going to get to going. The emotions are going to get to flowing. Joey, he's nervous, but he's like, he likes to live in the moment, and he honestly won't have his answers to that very day. Baby Monica is nervous, okay? And I would be too, because it's like, you're just gonna wait to see how you feel when you wake up. Like, had a V8, don't want to get married today. I'm trying to think. So we talked about Sarah and her dress. I definitely don't think Sarah and Ben should get married. Monica and Joey, they were our number one, but it's a maybe. I'll say it's a maybe. That's entirely up to them. Because they did have some lengthy conversations. When I got to episode 12, I was bored. I didn't take that many notes. I wasn't really paying attention. So yeah. Taylor picks her second, more cupcake looking dress. She was a princess. She was to be Cinderella. Both of the moms are there. We got wonderful words. We got tears. And Daniel is essentially saying he's ready. So I think they have kind of moved up to my number one and bumped out Monica and Joey. So I'm a yes for the two of them. Virginia, her dress is full of glitter, baby, full of glitter. Her top is very similar to Sarah's dress, but the bottom is like super duper sparkly and glitter, and she just like loves it. Everybody's like all emotional. She feels very fortunate to meet Devin, and her mom is just like, I love you and I support you. I'm just always going to be there for you. And it's, oh my God, I'm waiting for this moment to arrive and all of the things, right? Devin says he's ready and he can't see himself with anybody else. I didn't really pay too much attention to who else was there. I think his dad was there and his brother-in-law was there. Hey, Shayna, thank you for stopping by. The people ain't really watching this like that. I know you're not even watching it, but thanks for your support, girl. So now everybody's like enjoying their last few days. And then we get Virginia and Devin. So they're sitting down, and she's like I said, Virginia's voice is very soft and it's very reassuring. It's very palatable. And he's talking about his week, and his week is so busy. And, he's a coach who's talking about they have some type of tournament or something, and they're talking about that, and they're having dinner. And she said, it's me. I'm people. Yeah. I said, you ain't watching it. But the people ain't watching it really like that either. People ain't watching it like that either, girl. So he just sounds I couldn't understand if something had happened and we had missed it or not. He's just very, very blah, very, very, the attitude was a little funky. It was a little stank. I didn't get it. She hadn't even gave the prenup yet, but here we go. She done drawn up the prenup and she gives him the paper, and he kind of start, backpedaling and pee-popping and all of the things. And he finally asked her, well, why would you need one if you weren't planning to get a divorce? Baby, no one plans for a divorce. I know we don't like to compare these things. I'm a single mom. Nobody plans to be a single mom. Nobody plans to get a divorce. It's just like one of those things. Sometimes, things happen. So she's trying to explain this again to him for the umpteenth time. And she kind of just says, you can add to it, or you can remove things if you need to. Like, I don't have a problem with it. It's just standard. It's just business, which people will have to understand when it comes to a marriage. Now, this is a show, but when it comes to a marriage is very much paperwork, and it's very much a business arrangement. People don't want to say that because it's love and all of the things. Yes, but let's not be dumb. And also, like I said, I feel like Virginia, everybody should have one. But if even everybody on this earth don't have one, at the very least, everybody on Love is Blind should have one, okay? Why any of these shows that we go married at first sight, we're gonna get married, it should be a prenup, because what you're not about to do is try to swoop in after the fact and take any of my stuff. Now, I don't remember hearing any situation like that, but I don't want to be the first, okay? So he's like, I need my master's going to sign, and I'm going to have to take my time to read it and, have somebody else who I trust take a look at it. Okay, cool. Whatever you say, Devin. I thought between that and him being a conservative that we was out of here, that we wouldn't even get to wedding day, that one of them was going to call it quits, but we still going strong. Taylor and Daniel, they have a cute little ice skating date, and dinner on not on the rink. Well, I think they were on the rink, because I guess ice skate there. Minnesota is known for ice hockey. I think that's what they said. And it's also her birthday. Cute. They're going to have whatever conversation they have. Now that we done got past the Instagram thing, these two are very unproblematic. So we move forward. Okay, we move forward. We have Monica and Joey. Some stuff was going on here, but like I said, now we're in episode 12. I wasn't really listening. I was doing other things. This conversation was going on for too long. The attic conservatory is beautiful. A couple of things that I did pick up on is like, what do you need more of from your partner? So I guess she was saying physical touch, not to be confused with PDA, because I guess he don't do PDA and maybe she don't do PDA, but she needed a little more physical touch. And then they start kind of going on to, well, what are the things that we like about each other? So they did have a healthy conversation. I don't really know. Like I said, it went on for far too long and I couldn't get focused. But his favorite thing about her is the communication. The communication is very easy. They can talk to each other. Love that. Love that for the two of you. Sarah and Ben, baby, they out in the woods, okay? They're out in the woods. And I was like, huh? Now, while it was cute, they had like a little hot tub. They had like a little bed. It just was weird. Like, not y'all in the outside. Like, don't give me that. Don't give me that one, okay? I ain't going to ice skate either. Probably the conservatory was, out of these first three, would have been the one for me, because I don't ice skate, and absolutely not. Do not put me out in the woods like that. So she's telling him that she listened to the service, and I think we're still talking about whether, it's accepting or not. And like I said, she's compromising her values. This is not who she is. She said that. He said he was not big into religion. He viewed it more as faith, but his lying ass said he go to church every week. So I think Candy was in here one time. We were talking about that. I don't know whether it's a family thing. I think it's just, like I said, he don't want the negative connotation on it, but he's very much religious. Like, you can try to sugarcoat it any way you can, but the fact that you go to church every single Sunday says all that needs to be said. Virginia and Devin, they have a horse ride. That's also another good one. Probably that would be my first choice. Then the conservatory. And then they have like a little private dinner. Looks like they closed down some restaurant and they're like chefing up the food for them. And she kind of tells us off in the confessional that they haven't discussed the prenup since she gave him the prenup. So I was a little worried. I said, oh, let's this not ruin their date. So after they finished eating, he got his big gift bag from Target. I said, that's a Target bag. That's a Target gift bag. He got his big gift bag from Target. He got gifts for her. Now, in my head, I said, ooh, the prenup going to be in the bag. Is the prenup going to be in the bag? No, the prenup is not in the room with us. He gives her like this golden basketball, and I forgot what the heck his last name is. Just that damn quick. But it says team, whatever his last name was. Okay, child? I done forgot all about it, okay? I done forgot all about it, what the man's name is. Team, whatever, basketball. Cool. That would have been for B-Dot. Virginia don't play them games, okay? Virginia don't look like she liked to must her hair, as my mama used to say, okay? Virginia is a pretty girl. I think she used to be a cheerleader, and I think she used to be like a professional dancer. But that aside, I don't think Virginia is dribbling a ball with you. So he got her a basketball, and he also got them. It looked like he got them both jerseys with team again. Whatever the last name is, McCall. I'm making up names. It don't really matter. And then it was their wet, because I think the 18th was the day, and I forgot what the month was, child. Let's say 2/18 for argument's sake. It ain't 2/18, but let's say 2/18 for argument's sake. On the thing. Really cute. I was looking for the prenup. I think low-key Virginia was looking for the prenup, but okay. So we get to these bachelor parties, bachelor and bachelorette parties. Ain't nothing to say about them, child. The guys had theirs at the Vikings TCO, at the Vikings practice facility. They was in love. Cool, cool, cool. That's what they got. When no strippers or nothing like that. They just was in there. They had the little jerseys and they was, throwing the football and all happy as a lark. Fine, I'm okay with that. We move over here to the women, and I said, I'm gonna have to go back and watch. Y'all could feel free to get down in the comments. Okay. And probably anybody on the replay. Because most of y'all ain't saying nothing. I see you coming in the room. I see you coming in out the room. I know Shayna ain't watching, so she can't tell me. Anybody coming through on the replay, please, can you explain to me why they were dressed like grandmas? So the ladies are dressed like grandmas. I think one of them were like, well, the experiment was untraditional, unconventional. So we wanted to do something unconventional. This ain't it. This is not it. I didn't get it. I'm a little slow on the uptake. Y'all gonna have to school me. Is it a Minnesota thing? Is it a Minneapolis thing? Where am I missing the joke? Mall of America. Love that. Would like to go there. Very much so. So they're at the Mall of America. Obviously it's dark. It's closed. They getting on the Ferris wheel. And I just, don't give me that. I don't want it. I don't want to. Even Virginia. They all participate. They had their little, because at first I was like, is that gray hair? They had their little gray wigs. Some had the little, granny glasses on, their little skirts, and just, was it last season, Shayna, that they had the slumber party and everybody was getting on them for the slumber party and it being lackluster? Give me that. Give me that over Mall America on a little horse, not Ferris wheel, the little horse carousel. On a carousel, dressed like somebody's grandma. We move on past that, and we get one final scene before we move to our first wedding, for which we don't get to know answers, but I get to wrap up this recap. See how that goes? So Devin and Virginia were on the perfect couple. They sit down, and we're about to talk this prenup. Now, he says he was okay from it from the start. Now, when they sat down and they were at his place, he kind of had a little face. But like I said, that voice is very sweet. And she's very, very good at explaining the things. So she initially, he wasn't with it, but she explained it to him in a way that he was okay with it. Now, where we messed up was, okay, yeah, she said, see, it was a slumber party. I'd rather the slumber party than the grandma. Don't do that. The way they messed up is when they went to meet his conservative biracial family with the pig. Just for any of y'all that missed it, okay? His conservative, we now know, biracial family with the pig, they was not with the prenup. So I think that's where he got all of his head and just could not move past it. So he says from the start he was okay with it, but now his mom is comfortable. I told you it was the family that was in his head, that they sat down with the family attorney to look over it. So essentially, whatever they came with, they're going to leave with. And then I guess it broke down like how things were to be divvied up as to what was acquired in the marriage. That sounds like a traditional prenup from what I've heard. I ain't had no prenup, but that's what it sounded like to me. So he's like, he's willing to sign. So, he signed, she signed, he signed with his little, fancy, I want to be a basketball player signature, but I'm not, because he was practicing signing people's basketballs and shirts, but he ain't never made no career. So he ain't never get to use that signature because, he had the broken hips and everything. He had the ibuprofen addiction. Yeah, we ain't letting up off of that. And then I said, no notary, y'all just sign a prenup. And I guess it's just enough that it's on camera. No duress, no. Cool. I'm gonna leave it alone. That's y'all people's business. So I think I'm going the wrong way. We got to get to Sarah and Ben. I don't have that much to say about these people. It's their wedding day. It's Sarah and Ben's wedding day. She looks absolutely beautiful. She says she's ready. We have her mom there that we haven't seen before. She might have been. No, I think she wasn't at the dress fitting. I think she missed the dress fitting. And in any event, her mom was there. The sister Lisa was there. The sister's partner Kelsey were there, all to support her. The sister's getting her makeup and everything done. I said, not the sister getting her makeup and her hair all dolled up, only to put on a suit like one of the men's. But minding my business. Maybe the sister don't wear no dresses. Go off. So they're sitting and they're talking, and we get a lot of conversation in these wedding scenes. We get a lot of conversation. I don't really have much from his side because I was really honestly, I don't fool with Ben, and I don't know what Ben got going on with him. Oh, I forgot to bring up that little tidbit about Alex when we were talking about Alex. I'll double back to it because we get to the end anyway. And talk about that just very briefly because y'all gonna have to go watch Storytime or Ricky for the breakdown because that Alex stuff is a lot. I don't really have that much to say to him. The men, you don't really get too much on their side anyway when they're in their quarters with their people. So we're gonna focus on Sarah. So we talking about now. Sarah says she's not big on the church, but we talking about her going to church with Ben. So now the mama's like, "So that mean you go to church with me?" I said, "Oh, God." And the mom is saying, I think that it's a good foundation for a marriage. Da 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 da. And I said, child, I've been there. So the sister's partner, Kelsey, is kind of saying like, well, what about, a different church, just different. Cause it doesn't sound like even when they were having a conversation out in the woods, he like, well, we've had those conversations. Like, we don't talk about it all the time. We've had those conversations in church, but I don't really pay attention. So I don't really remember what they said. Sir, the same way you said that you wasn't religious, but you go to church every Sunday, you know full well what their views are. Probably don't align with what she believes in, which is why you don't want to say nothing, in my opinion. But Sarah she just really don't seem into it. She just really don't want to seem to go to church. And I said, baby, all this, and you're supposed to be getting ready to go down the aisle? Like, stop compromising your values for this man because you're going to get into this marriage. You're going to have to go to this church every Sunday that you don't want to go to. He's saying he don't care, but now you done already started. You done been there at least twice that we know of. You've gone online to look at the service. Baby, if you like it, I love it. But I pray when we get to episode 13, y'all are first up because we left off with y'all. Did you tell this man no? And we were on you. It wasn't up to him to say what the decision was. You was first. So I'm hoping you don't say yes and he say no. I'm hoping you just say no, girl. Okay. Sarah's stepdaddy, Andy, come in. This one, the little tears in the waterworks and start to go. Okay. Andy had a lot to say. He said that she was a pain in the ass growing up. Okay. So clearly she probably was like, kind of like, I don't want to say she was a troublemaker, but I kind of leads me to believe that maybe she does believe the things that she stands for. And because she sounds like, a little rambunctious, which I don't know why you would then kowtow to this man, but nobody asked me. But he was kind of saying, she was a pain in the butt, whatever. He was joking, but not really, because, it's truth and jest. But he's like, how it went too fast. And I just remember watching, SpongeBob with you. And oh, baby, Kleenex. Okay. I know nobody can stand. There's a couple of things. The pods, the dress shopping, and the weddings. Most people are like, bring me the drama. I give you that. The dress shopping is usually pretty quick. The weddings, they be long and drawn out. Like I said, we got to see her in her quarters. We got to see him in his quarters. Plus, we got to get flashbacks. So when she's talking, then we got to get flashbacks of the pods to Honduras, which was 2 seconds, to real life. Same thing with him. I mean, the whole last 30 minutes of this episode to get to the end and I get no answer. I want to take a note to all of that, y'all. Okay. All right. I watched, so you didn't have to. I just really cut all the fat. Okay. It's lean. It's muscle over here. So now we get to the end of the aisle. Everybody looks beautiful. He's saying his thing. He's talking to his mama. He's talking to his mama. He's talking to her mama. Okay. Sarah there with her stepdaddy. Okay. Stepdaddy said he got a couple of things to say before they walk down the aisle. They standing there and they get ready to go. It's not their time to go, but they getting ready to go. Is he smart? She's like, yeah, he's smart. She's like, because if he's not smart, we gonna have a problem. I mean, any little last minute questions or anything that he thinks is useful in a marriage, I say respect to you, Andy. Okay, because everybody is kind of playing a game. Because even the sister Lisa and the sister's partner, Kelsey, were kind of like, they don't think she's going to do this for the right reason. And that she shouldn't get married. And so they're like, I think we should go and talk to her and kind of tell her, do whatever you think is best. Make the decision for you, not for Ben, not for Mama, not for Andy. Andy was supportive though, because I don't even know what the mama want. Anyway, so she walked down the aisle, not really, because Netflix don't play that. She gets there. The pastor, he say all the things he got to say. They say their vows. You met it, is love blind? What say you, Sarah? No answer. That's where the show go off. So like I said, episode 13, we're going to pick up with Sarah and Ben. It's on her. Girl, I pray you say no. Okay? I don't want this for you. I don't trust Ben. I don't fool with him. Now, that young lady on the Clock app, on the TikTok, she was going a little too far. All right? She admitted it. Now, she done deleted it. She admitted it. But there were others. And so I just feel like between this young man being so conservative, when you got an LGBT sister, being a churchgoer, like what's the name's mama said? Let me scroll up, see if I can find it. One of the other couples that we didn't see, she's biracial. Because her mom was on somebody's show and she's white. Vanessa is biracial. She looks black, but her mom is white. She's biracial, and Vanessa's mama was saying it's a lot of conservatives on this season. And I'm like, girl, you ain't never lied, because Ben, we got that off of him based upon those answers he gave in the pods, talking about, I ain't really never think about the George Floyd thing, and I kind of just stayed out of it, and I ain't voting in the last election. That tells you everything you need to know. Then to turn around and get to episode 10, to find out that Devin, let me take this down real quick, to find out that Devin is also with his biracial self, which we see him, he's a black man. He looks like a black man. That's what we were trying to tell y'all sometimes with your biracial. Honor both your parents 110%. When you go into the world, what you show up as is how people are going to treat you. I hate to say it, okay? I'm black. I love black people, so, I'm not going to treat you no. But yeah. Anyway, he's also conservative. Anyway, I digress. Even the drama wasn't drama. And as it pertains to Alex, let me see if I can pull up Alex on the screenshot. That was it wasn't even really. Let's see. Here we go. Alex down here in the blue shirt. Now remember, Alex was dating Madison. Now Mason was dating Meg and Madison, but Alex was dating Madison. And we thought that they was going to get engaged. Then he ain't like what Madison had to say about Mason. And so he ended up ending it, saying that they wasn't ready to get engaged. Went on the Vile Files, called her a bully for the whole Mason thing, which I was like, if that's not your boy, like I didn't get it. Anyway, Alex had some allegations on Reddit. And like I said, I'm gonna need y'all to go over the story time with Ricky, because it has something to do with underage folks. Yikes. Now at the time, I think he was 20, but even 20 with underage is absolute no. It's gross. I don't want to get into it too much. One of the girlfriends that he dated said that she was, I guess they were peers age range, but she was saying that he always liked her to dress younger. Y'all get the gist. I'm going to leave it alone. That was a little too heavy. So I like to give y'all gossip, but that was a little too heavy. We got the Ben gossip. We got the Alex gossip. And that's all we really got. Ain't got no more. Now, Friday, we get episode 13. And then Sunday, we get the reunion. So like I was saying, probably because Raising Kanan and Beauty and Black both come back this week, I'm stressed out. My nervous system's not good. I'm supposed to be recapping those. I'm probably going to give you episode 13 for this. I know I've been doing lives. The turnout been even the replay, but I think I'm just going to do, because it's just the weddings, I think I'm going to give y'all a pre-recorded, probably Saturday night. It'll be up Saturday night. Well, maybe I'll do a premiere. So I don't have to be up here talking. I can record it, and then we can interact in case anybody comes through in the comments. So one or the other. Either it will be 100% recorded, where you can just watch it and then leave your commentary, or I'll do a premiere where, I can sit here, talk to you guys in the comments while you're watching. We'll see. Whatever. My son is coming home next weekend, y'all. So it's a lot. It's a lot next weekend. Your girl is, Stretched out between the two new shows while I still have two. I'm still doing Love is Blind. I'm still doing Married to Medicine. The two panels don't count because I don't host those. It's just a lot. It's just a lot going on. Makes me very nervous. Anybody that's coming through on the replay, please leave a comment. Hashtag replay. Let me know again what you thought of episodes 10, 11, and 12. We could talk about the full season if you want to. I prefer you to talk about each episode under the episodes, but if you say something that pertains to another one, I ain't really going to care too much. It's nothing to spoil. I don't watch them all. That's how I like to handle them. Drop an emoji, waving hands, whatever y'all want to put. Just help your girl out. I do this for the love of it, but also YouTube, they need to see some things for me, so we can elevate to the next level. Okay. Elevate to the next level. So help me with the little minutia of it all. Trying to get to 1,000. I know I'm not at 500. God be the glory. I'm appreciative. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this video. We share your videos. Sharing is caring. Okay. We're trying to get them subs up. Okay. We're trying to get them subs not down, but up. Okay. So share. Like I said, YouTube wants to see all these things. We really wouldn't even say them if YouTube did not want to see all these things. So please and thank you. I appreciate you guys for coming through. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. We're doing Found coming up as a live, I believe at 9:30. So if you're watching that, come through for that with Candy Love and the gang. Otherwise, scroll through my channel. Okay. Please and thank you. See what you might like to watch. And I'll see you guys in the next video. My brain just peace, guys. I don't know where my brain just went on that. And it's not on a loop. Now peace. Now peace again. Let me just mute that. We're going to try it again because my loop wasn't on. So then, and then I couldn't end it fast enough. So, again, peace. Good mugga, y'all.